Do fillings ruin sourdough bread or make it better? I use the exact same dough and bake 3 different loaves. Let me show you what actually happened. If you enjoy baking like this, subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. Today I'm doing a small experiment. I made a double batch of my usual sourdough recipe. You can find the full recipe on the screen or in the description below. The dough is ready for shaping, so I divide it into 3 equal parts. Now I start with pre-shaping. I gently form 3 round pieces and let them rest for about 20 minutes. The idea of this experiment is simple: to see how different fillings affect the structure of the bread and how well it rises. So one loaf will stay plain for comparison, and the other 2 will have fillings. But here's something important that many people ignore. Different fillings have different strength. Moist fillings like olives, sun-dried tomatoes, capers, caramelized onions, roasted garlic should be about 8 to 12%, cheese or fatty ingredients around 10 to 15%. Light ingredients like herbs or spices, you can use more because they barely affect the dough. And the golden rule, if you're not sure, add less. Less filling means better bread. So for 1 loaf, I'm adding fresh dill and cheddar. And for the other, sun-dried tomatoes and capers. The dough has rested, so now it's time to shape. I lightly dust the surface with flour. The first loaf stays plain. This will help us clearly see how fillings affect the result. Now, the second loaf. I gently stretch the dough and start adding the filling. First, about half. Then I fold the dough and add more. The biggest challenge here is distributing the filling evenly. You don't want everything in one spot. So I repeat the process. Stretch, sprinkle, fold, slowly building layers. Then I shape the loaf, tighten it slightly, and seal the edges. Here I actually made a small mistake, you'll see it later. And the third loaf, same process. Stretch, add filling, fold, and shape. All 3 loaves go into the fridge for an overnight proof, but you can also leave them at room temperature for about an hour, then bake them. Next day, baking time. Look at these loaves. They've risen beautifully. At first glance, the plain one seems to have grown the most, but let's see what happens. I bake them one by one. Always keep the dough in the fridge until it's ready to bake. Don't take them all out at once. Score each loaf about 1.5 centimeters deep. Bake in a preheated oven at 250 degrees Celsius, about 480 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 minutes covered, then 20 minutes uncovered at 200 degrees Celsius, about 390 degrees Fahrenheit. Here they are. All 3 loaves look beautiful. Great oven spring. Nice crust. Everything looks promising. You can already see the mistake I mentioned. This loaf wasn't sealed properly, so it opened on the side. But now comes the most important part. Let's cut them open. First, the plain loaf. Beautiful. Open crumb, light, almost perfect. Second, with tomatoes and capers. Also very good. The filling is evenly distributed. The structure is still strong. I'm really happy with this one. And now the last one with cheese and dill. I was a bit worried about this one because fat can affect fermentation, but wow, it turned out really well too, and the smell is incredible. So what do we learn from this? The plain loaf did rise a bit better, but the filled ones are still beautiful breads. The most important thing is balance. How much you add matters more than what you add. Too much filling, and the structure suffers. Just enough, and you get both great texture and amazing flavor. So now I'm curious, which one do you like the most? And which one would you bake? Tell me in the comments. If you enjoy baking experiments like this, subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. And thank you so much for watching until the end. It really means a lot to me. See you in the next video.